Okay, I'm back, everybody. Sorry about that. I only have the 15-minute time limit or the 15-minute, 10-second time limit. But anyway, what I'm saying, folks, is, I get what you're probably saying. Well, Cry the Wolf and Void wouldn't make any sense. Because Void's more like a prelude, right? Yeah, it is, Ben. Like I said, the average number for movies when it comes to a franchise is 3 to 4. Exceptions being Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Star Trek and, so on. And the X-Men. Or a few Marvel movies, I should say. Maybe even Superman, who knows. But what I'm saying, folks, and maybe even Batman, I mean, let's see how far you've seen how far the original Batman movies went, right? Batman 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, I can understand, like I said, the average number of movies to be made when it comes to a movie franchise based on something is 3 to 4. So, exactly, now you're probably thinking exactly where am I going with this? Well, what I'm saying, just like I said in part 1, Void and Cry the Wolf could work together if you want to, you can mix together the best elements of both episodes and there you go. But again, I can understand you watching this 2-part video and saying to yourself, well, Brian, the Void is its own individual entity. It gives us an idea of what's going to happen, and it allows us to have a little bit of closure for the Sally character, because she finally finds out where her father is, and she finally gets what was alluded to at the beginning of the series, and that's the list. Or maybe, well, she didn't know. Or in this case, you want to add in maybe the fact that she didn't know about the list and now she finds out about it by getting it from her father. And I get that. Yeah, The Void, in my opinion, could make a great, second movie. There's no doubt about that. I agree with it. And, I agree with that. It could make a great second movie if you wanted to go the 4-movie route. If you wanted to have this director or producer, whoever it may be in the future, to go in that 4-movie route, 4-movie franchise route, and that's cool. And I'm totally cool with that. Because again, like I said, like I mentioned in part 1, like I mentioned, Cry the Wolf and Void could be their own individual, could be their own individual films. Or could be their own individual film mixed together with the best elements of both episodes. I get that. But I also understand that a second film adapted entirely off of The Void could be good, could be done just as well. And I understand that, a third film, like I said, if you wanted the director or producer, whoever it may be someday in the future, whoever steps up to the plate to go in this direction, you pray and hope you pray and hope that happens. Maybe the third film could be based off the episodes of Cry the Wolf and Druid Hedge and Spy Hog, all the elements mixed together. Like I mentioned, with Cry the Wolf and Void together. A third film, if you wanted, like I said, wanted to go the 4-movie route. Cry the Wolf, the best elements of Cry the Wolf, Druid Hedge, and Spy Hog could be mixed together into one feature film adaptation. And I agree that would work too. If you wanted to do 4 movies, if this director or producer, whoever, like I said, I know I'm repeating myself here, steps up to the plate someday and says, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to base it off the Saturday morning cartoon from the 1990s. I get that, and that third film would be great, with the mixture of the best elements of those 3 episodes, and then a 4th and final film based and expanded on the Doomsday Project episode would be great, because then you could really say that all 3 movies before this have been building up to this very moment. And because, like I mentioned before in part 1, us longtime fans knowing what Blast of the Past could offer, with the exception of some new additions and expansions and all that, we would probably get something good with Doomsday, because it would be more expanded on. You wouldn't just have to. You just wouldn't have 22 minutes to do the whole thing. You could expand on it. You could, have them, kind of, think and refocus and find out what they could do and stuff like that. I mean, it would just be tremendous. Now, I know it sounds like I'm rambling and everything, but you know what? Believe me when I say this. The Saturday morning episodes that I talked about, Blast of the Past, The Void, Cry of the Wolf, all the way through to Doomsday, despite how you look at it. If you wanted to do if you wanted this director or producer, whoever it may be in the near future, that steps up to the plate, and you pray and hope goes this route, there's no doubt you have to agree that Blast of the Past could be its own individual adapted film. That if it's a 3-movie route, Cry the Wolf and Void together could be its own film. And, Spyhawk, Druid Hedge, and Doomsday could be their own film. Could be their own conclusion. But then again, if you want to go... But again, let's say this producer, director, whoever it may be in the future goes the 4-movie route, then yeah, there's no doubt that Blast of the Past could be its own individual adapted film. The Void could be its own adapted film. Cry of the Wolf all the way up to Spyhawk could be their own adapted film with the best elements from all 3 episodes. And then Doomsday, of course, could be definitely its own individual adapted film with all, to be expanded on and stuff. So, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, it would actually be a pretty good film, no matter how you slice it or how you look at it. But the truth is, folks, I'm just saying, because I just had to get this off my chest. I mean, just think about it. Think about how good, how if done right, how magnificent that could look. How unbelievable that could be if done correctly. Because I know there's a lot of people that feel anytime a movie or a movie franchise based off a video game is done, usually the first 2 movies are good, and then the last movie or last 2 movies are shit. Well, you know what? That's why we got to keep getting on our knees, praying to God, and hoping and praying He someday gives us somebody that goes in this direction that I mentioned, and either goes the 3 or 4 movie direction, and does it correctly, and does it justice. I mean, I know, and I can tell you this right now, I know a lot of people do not want a certain MB guy getting the reins. They do not want that. I like Michael Bay, but Sonic is, kind of, where you have to go maybe someone like a Cameron or Steve Raimi or something. Or maybe a Bryan Singer or Brett Ratner. Just saying. But, okay, that's just my thoughts. That's just something I had to get off my chest. And if you want to comment down below, go ahead. And then in conclusion, I do want to say this. I do want to answer one question. There's a question over at the Sega forums. It's kind of a poll question. The poll question is G or PG. Basically, what this person's asking at the cartoons comics section of the Sega forums is, what rating do you think the Sonic movie would be if one was made, G or PG? And I think we all agree PG would be the best route. Especially, like I said, we pray and hope someday somebody comes and does what I mentioned and got off my chest about. So, I'll talk to you guys all later. You all have a good week, Saturday. Peace out.